The USA and Canada, are they the same or different?
Feeling patriotic.
Let me explain. In this video, I'm gonna compare and contrast the USA versus Canada. Quick disclaimer guys, I am American and I spent the first 21 years of my life in the US before I started traveling abroad. I've also been to Canada 5 times and I really love it there. I am making this video from an unbiased point of view and I'm trying to make it as educational as possible. So with that being said, let's jump right in with the similarities. Both the USA and Canada are in North America and are predominantly English speaking. Both countries are huge in size. Canada is the world's second largest and the US is the third. With enormous size comes lots of national parks and stunning natural beauty. In terms of the overall life on the streets and standard of living, they are pretty much the exact same. The strip malls, the fast food joints, the retail shops, there's almost no way to tell the difference unless you see one of these. Both the US and Canada have a tipping culture in restaurants where 15 to 20% is expected, so not surprisingly, you will find excellent customer service. And lastly, both nations are obsessed with sports, both are very patriotic, and the religion is predominantly Christian. Okay, that wraps up the key similarities. Now we can move onwards to the fun part, the differences. Despite being smaller in size, the US has a much bigger population, the third highest in the world with 329 million residents. On the other hand, Canada is the world's 39th most populous nation with 37 million people, roughly the same size as California. Canada is freezing and during the winter time, it pretty much snows everywhere. The US does have some cold states, but many are set in warmer climates, like right now where I am in Arizona. About 20% of Canadians are native French speakers, while 15% of Americans are native Spanish speakers. Canadians are nicer people overall, and it's not only my opinion. Just about every friendliest country ranking I found online has Canada listed in the top 10. Canadians also have slightly different accents and different lingo than Americans. They also spell certain words differently than us, like color, O-U-R, and center, R-E. In the world of sports, both countries like football, basketball, baseball, golf, soccer, and lacrosse, but in Canada, nothing is bigger than hockey. They are the proud inventors of the sport and is followed in every corner of the country. When it comes to food, Canada wins on poutine, bacon, and maple syrup, while the US wins in pizza, barbecue, burgers, and apple pie. Okay, maybe that one is slightly opinionated, but it's honestly the truth. While both currencies are called the dollar, they're actually quite different, and only here in the States you can find useless pennies. Does anybody use pennies anymore these days? In terms of political systems, the US and Canada both have democracies, but they function differently. The USA is led by a president, and we have 2 major parties, Democratic and Republican. In Canada, they are led by a prime minister, and they have 4 major parties and several smaller ones. Lastly, another big difference is that Canadians get free healthcare for everyone, and going to university is a lot cheaper than here in the US.